Okay, we're going to continue on in our Father's Word. Now, Genesis 4 is the bloodline, the genealogy of Cain, Satan's son. I want to go read you John 8:42. Jesus said to them, "If God were your Father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Nor have I come myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Because you are not able to listen to my word. You are of the father, the devil." Now he's talking to the Kenites. "And the desires of your heart you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources. He is a liar and the father of it." Now that's what Jesus has to say about the descendants of Cain from the very first, from the very beginning. Now this is Genesis 4, the descendants of Cain. Genesis 5 is the descendants of Adam. On the 6th day after the cattle, God created the Gentiles. He created the black folk of Africa, the hunter-gatherers, and the white folk of Europe, the hunter-gatherers. And then he created the fishermen, the red-skinned people, the fish and rice eaters, the people from India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Korea, Japan, China. The Mongolians came across the land bridge into America. The Indian chiefs. Now the Miccosukees, they eat a lot of fish. They're not sick. And the Yakimas up in Oregon and Washington, they eat a lot of salmon. And they're not sick. But most of the Indians and the Mexican people and the South and Central America, they try to eat red meat. And God created them to be a fisherman. They can't digest red meat. So they have diabetes, heart disease, and cancer from trying to eat red meat. But most of the Indians came to America. All they had was buffalo, deer, moose, elk. Not many fishing holes out there in Kansas there, Dorothy. Not too many of them. It's dry out there. And dry in a lot of places the Indians tried to live in. So, if you got the A blood type, if you got the red skin, you can't digest red meat, and don't even try. My favorite place to eat in San Diego was a place called Rubio's. Rubio's fish tacos. They are delicious. Take a taco shell and put a piece of fried fish down in the bottom of it, and then guacamole, and then some of that Rubio's coleslaw, and some of that hot sauce, and some nachos, and you got a meal. It's delicious. But the fish tacos, what you Mexican and all you Indians supposed to be eating, you can't digest red meat, and all you Oriental people with the red skin, you can't digest red meat either. So here we're going to go to Genesis 4, the bloodline of Cain. Genesis 4:19. Then Lamech took for himself 2 wives, and the name of one was Adah, and the name of the second was Zillah. And Adah bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in the tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the harp and flute. And as for Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, an instructor on every craftsman in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and named him Seth. For God had appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain had killed. And as for Seth, to him also a son was born, and he named him Enosh. Now this is Enosh, and the men began to call on the name of the Lord. Now this is Genesis 5. Excuse me. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. That's the descendants of Jesus. See, you had on the 6th day after the catapult, God created the Gentiles, the people with the O and the A blood. Then on the 7th day, God rested. And then on the 8th day, you got Adam, the man Adam, the farmer, the husbandman, the tiller of the dirt, the descendants of Jesus, the people with the B blood type, the Jews were created on the 8th day, the day after the 7th. And they are the farmers and the husbands and the tillers of the dirt. And that's what the Jews do. Okay, this is Genesis 5. And this is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day that God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female, and blessed them and called them mankind in the day that they were created. And Adam lived 130 years. And he begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years. And he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Adam lived were 930 years. And he died. And Seth lived 105 years, and he begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years. And he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years. And he died. Enosh lived 90 years, and he begot Canaan. And after he begot Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. After he begot Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. After he begot Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. Jared lived 162 years and begot Enoch. And after he begot Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and his sons and his daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Now Enoch was the first preacher, and he preached against the daughters of Adam having sex with the fallen angels, the Nephilim, the fallen angels sent by Satan to try to mess the bloodline of Christ up so the Messiah could not be born. So giants were created and men of renown. We're going to read about that in Genesis 6. And so God sent the flood to kill the giants and the men of renown. They got a hunger, a taste for men's flesh. So these giants started eating people. And so God couldn't put up with that anymore. And so God sent the flood and destroyed the giants. And so the giants were wiped out the first time. And then Satan sent a second influx of fallen angels into the land of Canaan. And God sent Israel into the land of Canaan, the promised land, to destroy the giants. And then at 666, Satan will be bringing 7,000 fallen angels with him. So all you women folk out there, Satan's going to have 7,000 of them beautiful creatures. And they're going to have sex with you. All you women folk out there, if you don't have God's umbrella of protection and God's blessing, they're coming for you. So at 666, that's one of the things watchers watch. Watch for the signs. Now this is